All right, let's get this show on the road. Good morning, everyone. Hey, how you doing? How are you doing today? Let me just pull up the live scene over here. As I do get situated myself, it is a lovely, nice, peaceful Wednesday morning over here in Helsinki, Finland. I hope everyone's doing well out there in cryptocurrency land. And let me just bring up the live scene. All right, there we go. Hey, hello. How are you? I'm back in my house. Let's go back to the good old cave over here. You can see my nasty haircuts. I'm just going to give everyone a second to funnel on in over here. What's up, Jacob Lynn, man? I see you over there. How you doing, my friend? How are you doing? Whoops, I should probably keep on this and then take this off. There we go. That's what I need to do. As you can see, my other screen always filled with all kinds of nonsense. But you know what? That's all right. I hope everyone's doing well out there. Of course, this is going to be a fun little day because we got a few trade ideas to be talking about. Throughout the rest of this day, it looks like there should be a couple of opportunities. So let me just rearrange my screens over here. I'm a little bit late myself as well. You know, sometimes I have a little bit of a late morning myself, you know. All right, so let's just get this on over here. I want to get my links out and flying around so I can notify all my good old friends about this. Hey, all right, there we go. Hyped Crypto. There you go, baby. Come on. Give me that good old Hyped Crypto. We're live. We're live. Turn that sound off. Turn the lights on. There we go. And now I can let's, got to bring up Discord over here. As always, guys, as always, you know, it's a little bit of a late morning for myself, like I said, but I'm just going to be one more second as I copy and paste this over here. Beautiful. There we go. All right. Post it on over the Hyped on Crypto channel as well. Here we go. Hello, hello. And I think we're ready to go. Let me get back on over here to the comments. Bring up my Deribit as well. And hey, again, good morning, everyone. I hope everyone's having a beautiful Wednesday. I believe it is. Yes, Wednesday. Hey, happy Wednesday, guys. It's almost the end of August, by the way. Just taking a sip of this Swedish coffee. Very strong, very potent, but goddamn, man, it is good. And how you doing, Ryan McAllister? What's up, man? How you doing? Wes, hey, Wes, welcome back, my friend. Helmets on. Let's engage the distribution. Ooh, we'll be talking about that for sure. Jacob Lynn, what's up, my friend? Michael Thexbark, how you doing, my friend? What's up? Hope you all feeling great. Hey, man, that's so nice. And I'm drinking your Swedish coffee, by the way. South William Anderson, how you doing, my friend? Hey, my pleasure, man, my pleasure. I have a lot of fun doing these, and it's fun to be over here on good old Hyped on Crypto channel. MK Hanny says, hello, Mr. Dilly, will Bitcoin rise? Well, we'll be talking about that in just a second over here. I want to give people a few more moments to kind of shuffle on in. I want to make sure that, you know, don't have to repeat it too many times, right? As that kind of just gets annoying for everyone, I'd imagine. So out of respect for everyone here, I'll just give it a second more. I want to make sure that I mute my Discord so we don't have that going on. Very highly unprofessional, but you know what? Sometimes you fuck up. Hey, what's up? Fuck you. How you doing, by the way? Speaking of fucking. Derek M, where's the foil? Derek M, man, I feel like I haven't seen you in a while, Derek, man, and I miss you, man. It's always a pleasure talking with you. In my tinfoil hat, well, I'm waiting, man. I'm waiting for the right time. Morella Alivo says, Micancia Quantica. Well, let me just get on my Google Translate over here because I have absolutely no fucking idea what that means. But you know what? Hey, good to meet you. Hugh Myron, what's up? What's up, Kurt Bra? How you doing, my friend? Welcome back, man. Welcome back. Who else we got? Tom BJ's back in the house. What's up, man? A pleasure as always. MK Hanny, Mr. Dilly, will Bitcoin rise? You gotta love it. Can we? What's up? Can we? Hello, Mr. Tinfoil Hat. Oh, man, I'm gonna have to get a tinfoil hat. Can I get a... like an augmented mixed reality type thing? That'd be even better. Joe McDonald, what's up, man? Welcome back, my friend. Who else we got? Daniel PG, morning to you as well, man. Morning to you as well. So let's start talking about some Bitcoin action over here. All right, okay. So in the on the daily over here, yes, we have wicked up and tested this daily 100 exponential right around here. Actually, I'm gonna put us on over to Finex as the indicators are showing, just so in case you guys haven't noticed, the indicators for BitMEX have been a little bit off because of that one-off dildo to 7150, you know, like early last week during the good old MEX maintenance. 1 second. Holy shit, man, that is strong. So I've been using the other exchanges to kind of get my my indicators down and flying around. And as you can see, yes, we have hit the 100 exponential, that cyan line right there on the daily, and initially have found a little bit of resistance around it, which you would, I don't want to say expect. Expectations are a bad thing to have, of course, but very, very common. You know, first pass on a major resistance, especially, you know, 100 exponential, that's likely to not, to kind of like stifle the run a little bit. And a few things really stick out about this run right here, right now. And I'm sure you guys have noticed yourself. The volume kind of carrying us up out of this range right here, especially above the 6,600 range, is very light, very anemic, very, very inconsequential down here. And of course, volume on its own is, you know, you have to interpret it in the context of the price action. And to me, this is telling me that there's not that much participation in this rally right now. To give you a little bit of context, look over here at the last big rally that Bitcoin had when we went from about 6,000 to 8,000 in the span of like a week. It's fucking crazy. Fun times. But more importantly, look at the volume down here. The volume taking us out of this, digging us out of this area right here was absolutely astronomical. I mean, well, astronomical in relation to what we got going on right now. So to me, and in fact, the big volume over here is selling, by the way, on these selling dillies. Anyways, so the big deal to me is that this rally is very questionable. Doesn't mean that we can't, you know, see it continue onwards and upwards for a little while. We'll be talking about a few ideas. In fact, I'd say you probably aren't going to get stopped out right here, right now. But just overall, like always incorporating the longer term view of this, I'd say, hey, this rally is questionable. I don't like how there's it seems to me like there's a lack of participation. It's almost like it's being forced up, which, you know, I mean, this is an opinion thing, right? You know, it's being forced up. But essentially what I mean by that is, you know, it almost seems like there's not too much real buying. Not that there's like real buying or real selling. You know, anything that happens in the recent trades list is real by definition. But the way that I look at this is that there's just not that much conviction in this. And again, when you have a rally like this with significant volume on it in relation to what we're doing over here, and this one fails at some point in time, well, to me, that is indicative that this one is probably less likely to succeed. Now, this over here was a real rally. This one you had to be bullish on, and don't get me wrong, you actually do have to be bullish over here. You are getting your 21 exponential crossing the upside of your 30 simple, confirmed as of yesterday's daily close. It looks like. And we are living above that 55 exponential, this green line right here, and below the 100. So for all intents and purposes, in the lower time frames, we are in a range. And I don't want to be like too bearish or too bullish within this range. I have to slightly lean to the bull side, just because we broke out of the major resistance right here at about 67.50, which for now, whoops, I'm gonna rearrange everything. Basil, if you're here, that's what we were looking at earlier. But basically, this is your big area now, 67.50. You do not want to, if you're a bull, you do not want to give up 67.50. Anything that happens between here and 67.50 is, you know, it could just be counted as a retest of the breakout trend line. But huge point of this stream and probably going forwards here. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but hey, if you're looking for the trigger on perhaps doom to follow, it's 67.50. You do not want to be closing any sort of higher level dillies below there. You do that and it calls into question this whole thing. Probably revisit that 62.50 area shortly after that and take out CNBC's stop, which would be pretty fucking funny. Let me just sip some more of this coffee. I got plenty of it. And I'm going to show you the beautiful symmetry that we have in these lovely charts over here. You can see right here we do have a nice horizontal level to be put in. And guess what? That's exactly where we've been stopped out. So far, again, finding a few wicks above here, but essentially being stopped out right there. Again, your daily 100 exponential, but it does line up with some horizontal. So I really do like this for confluence on this area being, you know, the next big resistance, so to say. So in the on our oscillators over here, we're actually not printing too much divergence, or we're not printing any divergence on anything above like a 2-hour or 3-hour. However, we are starting to see the Stochs cross to the downside over here. The 3-hour and the 4-hour, I put a lot of weight on. Let me just make sure that I have my settings right. Yeah, I do. And these are very rarely wrong in my experience whenever you get a cross, especially in a more heavy area, as we do kind of tick down over here. So I would be looking a little bit lower here. Now the question is, how low do we go? You know, it's like the good old the Bitcoin limbo, so to say. And you'll notice that, yes, we do have a horizontal right around here, which would be lining up with your 3-hour 21 exponential right around 69, 69 and a quarter about is where I'd be aiming. So if we do kind of sell down and test the lower bounds of this is exactly where I'd kind of have my sights set. If I'm looking to, if I wanted to be a buyer on this, I'm not quite sure if I want to be a full-on buyer. I definitely do want to scalp, so I will be having an order somewhere right around here. Let me make sure that my Deribit account is up and good to go. Let's see. There we go. All right, yeah. My Deribit account is the most interesting thing in the world right now. By the way, my Deribit actually saw my video that I made for them, and they said they're gonna send me some Deribit ledgers. So I'm gonna do a giveaway at some point in time where, I don't know, like whoever has the biggest dildo gets a Deribit Nano ledger. Branded ledger. There you go. And hats, man. And fucking hats. I can't wait to actually wear that. Pretty cool, though. Pretty cool. Definitely made me a fan for life. Anyways, okay, so back now over here. On the lower time frames, like we said, yes, we are printing divergence and pretty heavy divergence on the hourly, like the first time that you're really starting to print divergence on the hourly. Now, more importantly than that, or perhaps just as important, is if we go over here to, where do you want to do it on? Yeah, let's go back to the hourly. Yeah, the hourly RSI. We actually did print a head and shoulders on the RSI, and yes, you can look at and make formations on your RSI. It's like a line chart essentially, and the way that I love to use it is not just by looking at it for divergences, but also for those sorts of shapes. And also relating it to the exponential. So you can see over here, funnily enough, your neckline would be right at the 70 zone, right at the traditionally overbought zone. It's by no mistake that's kind of there. And look at how we reject from here as well. So I just wanted to quickly show this as another way to kind of interpret price action to confirm what you might be looking at in the in your base chart over here. So we are selling down right here. Perhaps you could say that this is a head and shoulders over here. Again, I don't really care what you call this. The most important thing here is that, hey, you got a nice, well-defined horizontal right here, right fucking here. So that would be your hourly 21 exponential coming in around 70.30. If you do close an hourly below there, very, 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 very likely that we do come back down and test this area right here, the former breakout area, 69.30-ish area, give or take a few bucks. So that's kind of what I'm looking for over here. Now, does that mean that we, pop down there and then go back up immediately and carry on this rally? It could mean, but again, I want to be very, very careful with how I relate these sorts of concepts, because anytime that we're looking at a horizontal or just any sort of supporting resistance, it's just an idea. And the reason why it's a good thing to mark off is because it gives us a higher probabilistic trade to base something off of. We know, hey, if we break this, we have a little bit of a change of behavior. So I'm going to be wrong on this idea. And I can take a loss on it, and hopefully, as the sooner that you can get to it, or like the closer that you can get to that resistance trend line or support trend line, the less risk theoretically you'll have, as you'll know quicker if you're going to be wrong or not. By the same token, maybe we do bounce off it. Maybe you want to scalp it for a few bucks. Maybe you do want to hodl it. Maybe you want to do half and half. Of course, there's many ways to represent this or manage this sort of trade. So again, this would be the next support area that I'll be looking at over here. And if you do break it, of course, there's another trade to be made. You do have this area over here, the former breakout area at 67.50, which again is absolutely fucking astronomically important over here. Bitcoin bulls need 67.50 to hodl. Otherwise, this whole chart comes into question, and it's very likely that we do revisit those prior lows. And maybe you bounce around there, but you'd probably make some new lows after that. Now, again, we're well and far away from this area right now. We're like what, $300 away, something like that. As I take us another sip of this coffee over here. And man, it's so good. Swedish people, they know coffee. By the way, Swedish people have like this crazy thing called like coffee and cake. And that's just, it's exactly what it sounds like. They just fucking sit down on a morning, drink some coffee and eat some cake. It's a great way to get fat, but my God, so good. So fucking good. Anyways, Nordic countries have figured out a few cool things, huh? Anyways, so by the same token, just because I think that it's likely that we do break this area right here, doesn't mean it has to happen. If we break this area over here, 71.20, well, you got another trade to be made. You got another trade to be made, as there's very little stopping you from the next big horizontal, which would be coming in right around here, right around 73.40. Our next horizontal right here, lining up very, very good historically. And you know what? If we go over here to the CMEs, we're going to find out very nicely that, hey, that's a major fucking gap in price action right here in the 7,300 level, give or take $50. Also lining up with a Fibonacci retracement, in this range as well. So I would be looking at this as a high, if we did kind of move into that area, if you wanted to scalp the upside or the upper resistance of this guy, completely fine trade. I'll be taking that trade myself. If you want to buy the breakout, I'd be cool with that as well. But overall, same sort of idea, as like the first time that we filled this gap over here. The first pass was a major sell, taking us all the way back down here. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to happen, exactly like that. In fact, I would say if something did happen like that, that would be pretty damn heavy. It'd definitely call into question the more bullish activity that we're seeing right now. But it should, typically more often than not, it's going to provide a nice little play. So speaking of the actual direction of Bitcoin, as people always want to know, are we going up or down? Like, that's always the most relevant question. Krown, up or down? It's like, well, Jesus Christ, man. Like, do you mean in the next minute, in the next hour, in the next day, in the next week, in the next month? I don't know. So going over here to the, let's go over to the 2-day first. 2-day dildo chart is actually looking interesting right here, right? We are finding a resistance at the 200 exponential. Also your daily 100, right? Sorry. Yeah. Yes, that would make sense. Okay, good. Anyways, this green line is your 55 exponential, right? And so right here, right now, we are seeing something very interesting in my opinion because the 55 and the 200 exponential are very close, meaning that it's hinting at a perhaps death cross if, this is a big if Bitcoin fails to get above this level right here pretty much before end of week at around 71.50. If you fail to start closing 2-hour dillies above this area right here, you will very likely get this, or you're going to be in danger of getting this cross. So again, by end of week, it really does need to pick itself up and start hodling itself above the 71.50 to 7,200 range right over here, so it can avoid that sort of a cross. Again, crosses in general, I know people think that technical analysis is some sort of wizardry or some sort of Harry Potter Hogwarts bullshit, which it kind of is in some cases. But the main point about this is that a lot of bots and a lot of algorithms are watching this one, and I've noticed this, and probably you have noticed it as well. The 2-day dilly chart is very, very important because we do operate in a 24/7 market. So in order to kind of smooth out some of the weekend action, some of the weekend bullshit, the two day daily chart does get things pretty well. Not always, of course. Nothing's perfect in the overall grand scheme of things, but hey, it certainly ain't bad. Now you did cross your 21 exponential to the downside of your 30 way over here, and you are kind of popping back up. So perhaps you do get the smoothing out effect. So we're at like a very critical juncture in the market. I think we're going to decide pretty damn soon. Do we want to actually play out like a significant downside, like drop the bottom out and head on to 4,000 area, or do we want to put in this prolonged sideways consolidation? Now, let me remind you, when we're talking about market cycles like this, going over here to my stamp chart and putting it on the weekly, we're typically speaking, we talk about people think of like the end of a market cycle coming to capitulation, and you're right. However, what people a lot of the time fail to talk about is that capitulation can come two ways. And I'm just going to take another sip of this coffee as I get ready to explain this. Oh, it's so good. It's so fucking good. All right, so capitulation can come two ways, right? The first and most obvious way, and the one that probably everyone knows about, is that like big dildo down in your face, heavy volume, something like this guy right here. Now, again, this guy traveled like 70% in the span of 1 week, and most of that was done in the span of a few days. Yeah, right around here, about 71% from top to bottom on this capitulation on 2014. Okay, very, very relevant. However, there's another way that capitulation can happen, and you probably notice it yourself on some of the altcoins, and that is a prolonged sideways action, like a super prolonged sideways action that essentially elicits the same sort of emotions and behaviors as people are typically ran by their emotions to capitulate over time. But the key component of this that I think a lot of people on the Twitter sphere and in the YouTube sphere are really missing, if they even are talking about this, is that it needs to again elicit the same emotion as, you know, a super aggressive move to the downside. So if you lose, I'm sure like a lot of people thought that this was the bottom right here, and then it drops out another, you know, 70 to 80% from there. Well, that's going to cause capitulation, right? People are going to lose all hope. Well, imagine that, but just going sideways over a long period of time. Basically, like, you think the idea is that you have to think the underlying asset is dead, just bore people to death essentially. Do you think that we've done this over here, right, so far? I would argue heavily no. It's very unlikely that we have. In fact, I would say you'd probably have to do another like year or so of sideways movement if you were to cause capitulation that way. So again, it's like, which one would you rather? Let's like pick your fucking poison, right? Do you want to go sideways or do you want to go down? Because right here, right now, I still do not believe that we've actually seen what we need to see, and I would be pretty damn comfortable in saying I do believe that we will see lower lows before this whole market cycle is over. With that said, there is some similarities between this part of the market cycle and last one, right? So over here was the only other time you've ever seen the weekly 21 exponential cross to the downside of the weekly 55 exponential, this yellow and green line right here. This is the only time it's ever happened in Bitcoin's almost like 10-year history, and they are getting ever so close to touching and kissing right here, right now. So I think we're going to get resolution on how deep this thing is going to go pretty damn soon, as bulls need to maintain price action above and close this weekly and the next probably weekly as well, at least above 7150, maybe 7200 would be a little bit better, a little bit more safe. Otherwise, we will get that cross. And again, it's not because it's some sort of like fucking Harry Potter magic bullshit. It's because the bots and the algorithms are basically programmed to respect this sort of thing. It's going to cause some very heavy reactions most likely on the sell side. And again, I do want to point this out. The volume taking us off these lows over here is very anemic, very low. It's not impressive. It's not indicative, in my opinion, of like an actual conviction in the market getting ready to turn it onwards and around. Now, again, we are at only Wednesday, right? So the weekly daily closes on 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday. So there's a lot of time for this to kind of pick itself up and lift off. I just want to offer up ideas and triggering points so that people can, you know, if you don't want to tune into this content ever again, then you know how to fucking do it, right? Anyways. So that's what I'm thinking over here, and that's why I do lean towards this still being resolved to the downside. But the question is, how high do we get before then? Well, going back on over here to my Finex chart, going back on over to, actually, let's go to, it's already on my GX chart, so I'm going to go back to the 3-day, and this is the thing, right? This is the thing. With this rally right here, we can essentially say, this is the right way to represent it. If you're a bull, this is what you're looking at. This is essentially what you're looking at. You're saying, hey, we're in the formation of a falling wedge. We had a great reaction off the 200 exponential, so this is all well and good. A test back to 6750 should cause no sweat as long as you hold above 6750 for the bulls. And by the same token, you can fill out all this area right here. But again, for the bulls, you don't have a completion on this falling wedge until you start closing a 3-day daily above 7,600. It looks like. Now, I want to be extremely clear in stating this as well. For the bulls, you don't have a full-on bullish market, in my opinion. You don't have a full-on bullish market until you start closing and cracking this 10,000 mark right here. So, of course, that's like $3,000 away. So people are probably saying, Krown, what the fuck, man? You're going to wait $3,000 for it to tell you? And I'd say, well, yeah, I'm pretty damn comfortable with doing that for like the full-on bull market cycle. Again, don't mistake a bull move like we're seeing right now with a full-on bullish market cycle. That's what I need to see to declare it. Okay, it's time to be full-on bull. It's time to be it's time to start buying the fucking dip essentially, and you know, making trading easier on yourself once again, as everyone remembers what it used to be like. So so again, that's what I'd be looking at over there, and that is exactly what I want to be That's exactly what I want to be kind of aware of in the coming days. You know, as long as you're below this area right here, this thing can fill out all the space around here. We are not creating any sort of divergence on any sort of higher time frame just yet. Only in like the hourly is what I believe I've seen, maybe the 2 hour as well. But every other time frame is signaling, hey, we actually have, if this thing wants to run, it has plenty of room to run, and that would very likely coincide with finding some sort of a topping area in this vicinity around 75 to 77-ish area. We're going to have to kind of play it by ear, and whenever, you know, however long it takes is where we're gonna, you know, we're gonna have an idea of like when it starts to actually fucking approach, right? Because then we can fill in the blanks, right? But for right here, right now, can't really bring out the crystal ball just yet. So yeah, with that said, that's what I'll be looking at over here for the bulls. Now the bears, of course, you know, I was kind of presenting their case a little bit earlier, and here's what the bears would likely be looking at over here, taking everything off. Take it all off, get naked Bitcoin, get naked over here, and putting on my my trend lines over here. You'd be looking at this and you'd be saying, hey, you know, yeah, this is probably just a bull trap, nice little bull trap being put in over here. We do have this bear flag still intact, and look at this. Your daily 200 exponential is going to likely line up with the former support, now likely resistance of this former bear flag over here. So let's see if this does indeed play out. And you know what? Funnily enough, you will have a nice horizontal right there and a nice horizontal right here coinciding with this area. So again, a lot of things kind of lining up with this area. Now, I'm going to bring up to you a completely unique thing that I don't think I've shared over here just yet. So let me get it over here. I've been sharing it on my channel, Krown's Crypto Cave, but I haven't shared it on Hyped on Crypto. Now, this is a completely unique way of looking at price action. It is not related to price, volume, or time. It's related to, it's the MBT signal, by the way. It's related to the network value divided by the 90-day moving average of daily transaction value. Okay, so that probably means nothing to anyone here, or at least to me, it doesn't mean much. But when I look at this chart over here and I say, hey, hold up, this thing is calling tops like it's his fucking job, I better pay attention. So that's what makes me very interested in this. Again, it called the top right here in April 2013 perfectly. Called the top right here in November 2013 perfectly. Called the bull trap in 2014 perfectly, and called the top in 2017 perfectly as well. And look at this. We are topping out around here, very similarly to how Bitcoin put in this bull trap in 2014 as well. So this is what does make me a little bit more apprehensive about this current price action, and why I'm very, very hesitant to be getting on the bull train just yet. Doesn't mean that I won't get there. Of course I will. You know, I don't want to be a perma anything, or I'm going to be fucking perma wrecked. But for right here, right now, this is certainly on my mind, and the historical relevancy of this thing is too good to ignore, in my opinion. Too good to ignore. So again, if you want like a completely unrelated way to look at these charts, or from you know, traditional charting standards, that would be it. And again, the historical accuracy of it is, you know, again, too hard to ignore, in my opinion. So for right here, right now, of course, we are just kind of hanging out at this level right here. It's also your 12-hour 200 exponential, and you'd imagine, you know, the first pass is going to be a sell. So again, whether I'm bullish or bearish, I do believe strongly that we will probably consolidate a little bit lower. Now the question is how much lower do we consolidate at? Again, I don't think asking for this area right here at about 62.20-ish area would be asking too much, give or take a little bit. But again, this key fucking point of this stream and all streams to come until basically we break 10,000 is you must hold above 67.50. If you do fail 67.50, this calls into question the whole, it makes the whole thing take on a much more bearish interpretation. So that's what I'd be looking at over there. It also imply a failure, a breakout failure of a rising wedge formation. I mean, a rising wedge is typically a bearish formation to begin with, but you broke it out to the upside. So again, this is why I don't like, you know, putting English words on these sorts of things, as it makes you have like bad expectations, or at least in my experience, because I'm not, you know, an enlightened fucking monk over here. And if you did kind of crawl your way back below that, well, it just end up very, very poorly, most likely. All right, so I'm gonna get back on over here to the comments. Sorry guys, I've been completely neglecting it. Okay. All right. MK Hanny says, you are leaning bullish. Isn't Bitcoin within a bearish flag channel or a bearish rising wedge pattern? It was. And am I leaning bullish? I wouldn't necessarily. I am still. I'll put it this way, my friend. and I don't want to get this confused. I do believe that Bitcoin will see lower lows before this is all said and done. But in the current context of price action, I'm not. I can't. It's hard to be bearish in like the more immediate term until we actually break 6750. Is Bitcoin in a bearish flag formation right here, right now? I mean, if you represent it like this, perhaps you could say that. But then again, it's like, I mean, rising wedge, bear flag, whatever the fuck you want to call it. The thing is that we've just been redrawing them the whole way through. So at some point you got to say, hey, all I have over here is horizontals to kind of guide me on the price action, and that's probably the best thing to be going off of right here, right now. Could this be the way that it shapes up? Yes, it could be. But again, if we were creating something like this, I want to see divergence in my oscillators, and I'm actually not getting that just yet. Doesn't mean that it can't happen. It could be that we, pop down here, pop back up around here, and then put in some divergence. Very, very possible indeed. But I hopefully I'm being clear in stating that I'm not. I think, man, it's such a fucking convoluted question. It's like, okay, in the super immediate time frame, I think it's likely that we pop back down below 7,000. However, I can't be like full on bearish thinking that we're going to make new lows until we break 6750. So until that's broken, I'm still looking to probably be a buyer and support and maybe scalp it off. But again, I'm not like full on bullish as well because we're below 10,000. And I do think that we probably make new lows before before this is all said and done. So it's like, it's a very convoluted thing. And I hope that I'm clear with talking about the contingencies of this, because I know it's really fucking annoying, probably as a listener to kind of deal with this as like non-black and white thinking. I completely understand that, but that's what trading is, and that's why I think a lot of people don't like it. It's just it can't be black and white thinking. We're talking about statistical probabilities and just human imperfectness at the end of the day too. So 1 second while I sip this. So that's a way that I would hopefully that way of relating it works a little bit better. All right, Observe says I'm. By the way, guys, I can't access comments once they disappear from the visual view on the stream. So I'm never trying to avoid anyone's comments or anything like that. I'm happy to read them. In fact, I want to read them. So please just copy and paste them if I do miss it. What's up, Faisal? How you doing, man? How you doing, Mr. Faisal? Pleasure as always, my friend. God damn it, I'm glad you're here. The streamer says I'm passionate. Oh yeah, sorry, I am passionate. Looks like I missed your actual comment. Could you just copy and paste it, and I'm happy to read it, my friend. MK Handy says heavy selling is right, Mr. Dilly. Could be. Again, this is still very questionable rally. I'll put it that way. Amit Kurjwal says when Bitcoin went to 5,800, we saw most alts down to 90 to 95%. And by you saying we will see 5,000, 4,000, do you want to see? Do I want to see alts 99.99% down? I don't care where I see. It's not about what I want, man. It's not about It's not about what I want. It's about it's about what the market wants, man. At the end of the day, my fucking opinion is completely irrelevant. Technical analysis is gonna tell you what technical analysis does, but my opinion and what I want, well, that's. Who cares? Who cares? Do I want them to be down 99.99%? Well, I do believe that the point of this market cycle is to actually wash out a lot of these fucking gutter coins. Yeah, I do understand that, there's going to be some big winners over time for sure. Absolutely. No doubt about it. There's going to be some absolutely fucking phenomenal big winners not named Bitcoin as well. However, for the most part, we have thousands of coins in this market, and most of them are fucking garbage. They have nothing in their GitHub. It's completely empty. It's just complete scams. They have absolutely no business being traded, in my opinion. So I hope that kind of tightens it up. What's up, Don Dwan? How you doing, man? There you go. This is the perfect start of the word of the work day, at least. All good, man. And good talking with you early, Don. Hey, what's up, Z-Rex? Pleasure as always, man. How you doing, Z-Rex? MK Handy says, oh yeah, bear flag, like I said. Yeah, man. Yeah. So I do see that. I do still have that in my charts over here. I think I had it on Finex. This would be the more bearish view of looking at things, saying, hey, we put in a major fucking bear flag over here. And as long as you're living below the bottom support of that or former support of that, you still have to respect it. So, yeah, you do have a point there. What's up, Motor City? How you doing, man? Long time no see. Jacob Lynn says, LO, just got my Dribbit username, permarect. By the way, guys, definitely check out Deribit. I don't have my affiliate link on Hyped on Crypto channel. I do have it on my channel and also the Discord. It basically gives you 10% off your trading fees. And honestly, I've just been really enjoying Deribit. It does not have good liquidity. If you're trying to do like a million contract size, you're gonna have you're not gonna have a good time. to use a South Park quote, you're not gonna have a good time. But it is certainly up and coming, and it's getting better and better every day. You can actually see more liquidity coming to the books, and I absolutely love the snappy interface. And I've actually like I said, the actual people reached out to me and said, hey, we're gonna send you some hats and ledgers. So I'm gonna start giving that out to the people here. I think that'd be really fucking cool. All right, let's see. Yoni Kachin says, hey, what's up, Yoni? By the way, good to meet you. Bitcoin is flagging out on the 15-minute. Okay, well, let's go to the 15-minute. And is it flagging out? Well, actually, no. Actually, no. This is technically not a flag. Or could you? Okay, so could you make the argument for a flag? Technically speaking, a flag you want to represent like this, right? You want it to be like this. So you do have the top formation over here, and maybe this is it down here. Perhaps that's very possible. Yeah, like this. So yes, that could be it. This certainly could be it, my friend. However, I would be leaning towards no, just because I look at this actually as more of a head and shoulders, right? Where you have a neckline very well defined right here. But of course, whenever you're trading a head and shoulders, you don't have anything to trade on it until you actually crack the neckline and confirm below the neckline. Now, over here, if I put on my hourly, you do see some divergence, which is typically what I want to see in that pattern, right? You have significant divergence going on right here, like a lot, a lot. And we also put in a head and shoulders on the RSI. So that's actually why I lean a little bit more towards that. Could it be a bull flag on the 15-minute? Yeah, it could be, but here's the thing. Just like you can't trade a head and shoulders, or at least I would not trade a head and shoulders until you actually crack the neckline. I would not trade a bull flag until you crack the upper resistance right around here. So until you actually close a 15-minute above 70.75, I don't think that that's a trade worth taking. But you can take, that's certainly very valid. So my point is that right here, right now, there's multiple ways of interpreting this. In fact, you could even say it's like a descending, or what is it? Yeah, a descending triangle. So, until you actually get confirmation one way or the other, whether you crack the neckline or the upper resistance of the flag, don't do anything. At least I wouldn't do anything. But you have a trade to be made either way with a little bit of patience is my point. So I wouldn't be entering right here. I'd be waiting for confirmation is what I'm trying to say. All right. Yes, it's bearish, says MK Haney. Fuck you says, you think about 73.85 to 73.92 being top of this move. It could be. That would line up with the CME gap right here. And that's a very, very common way of kind of finding the top of a move. Not always. But yeah, it's possible, and we do have a nice resistance right here. Do I think it's going to be the top of the move? Again, it's one of those things, man. It's like it doesn't matter what I think, because we got to let the charts tell us first. We're having a little bit of difficulty even getting to that region in the first place. What I want to see, fuck you, is if we did get there, what I'd want to be looking for, more importantly, is I'd want to see some sort of divergence play in like a higher time frame oscillator, like a 4-hour, an 8-hour, a 12-hour, especially a daily would be beautiful. And so for right here, right now, we don't quite have that, but that's what I'd be looking for if that was to be it. So again, at the end of the day, my opinion is irrelevant. I know what to look for as the triggers, so I don't need to rely on my opinion is my point, and that's essentially what I'd be thinking in that situation. All right, back now over here. Hey, what's up, C Jack? How you doing, man? Mr. C Jack back. It always makes me so happy when Jack's in here, man. He's like a secret legend in the underground. All right, Faisal wants to look at the Or sorry, I just skipped Diesel. Diesel TV says, what do you think the market makers would rather do in a ranging Bitcoin market of a complete tank job to 3,000 to 5,000? All right, so so Diesel TV, don't take this personally, but I used to actually be a market maker myself in equity options, and I can tell you right now, people who think that the market makers drive the direction of Bitcoin are completely fucking misguided and extremely, extremely naive. And again, I don't mean this in any sort of mean way towards you. It's just people for some reason just like to blame the market makers on shit. I can tell you from experience, take this as verified from someone with a fucking Series 56 who's done this for a long fucking time. Market makers 99.9% of the time do not give a fuck about direction. Zero fucks about direction. Zero fuck. Okay, let me make this more clear. Market makers want to be delta neutral. They do not give a fuck about direction because what they only care about, typically speaking, is they want to lock in profits immediately, i.e. delta neutral, i.e. not giving a fuck about direction to begin with. That's the whole point of being a market maker is you're not wanting to play direction. Now, of course, there's going to be some market makers who do play direction, but at the end of the day, this is a very misguiding thing that people on fucking Reddit, on Twitter, on all these fucking stupid social media venues talk about to sound like they're smart, but little do they know fucking nothing about it because, again, it's just passing off the blame on someone else. It's like, hey, guys, the market makers want Bitcoin to go to fucking $0. So, fuck. I'm wrecked, but it's their fault. But I'm still wrecked, you know? So it's like, you do feel better that you gave someone else the responsibility for that, even though you're getting wrecked? No. And I'm not saying that you're doing that. It's just I see this happen a lot of the times. So it's not, listen, at the end of the day, it's not the fucking market makers who move this thing. It's the buyers and sellers. So, again, market makers do not give a fuck about direction. In fact, you'd probably say market makers probably would generally want Bitcoin to go up because, well, if they're measuring their profits in Bitcoin or they're hodling Bitcoin, they probably do want that. And I do know from experience that one of my friends mid-level firm who manages about $500 million to $1 billion in equity, who actually does make markets in cryptocurrency specifically. I never made markets in cryptocurrency. I made markets in equity options. But he makes markets in cryptocurrency specifically. I can tell you that they actually do hodl a shit ton of fucking Bitcoin. So there you go. All right, so sorry, a little bit of a long-winded explanation over there. All right, I'm gonna bring in Faisal over here. All right, so whoops, just pulled up the wrong screen. My bad. Where's Faisal over there? There we go. Okay, let's see. I'm bringing up your link, Faisal, so we can all look at your beautiful charts together. And here we go. Let me just scroll it on over to the other screen over here, and here we go. All right, great. Okay, so Faisal's showing us a chart over here where he's basically saying that we got some sort of a bearish divergence on the, what is this, 240 minutes is what, 4 hour? Yeah, that'd be 4 hour. 4 hour, you're also turning your stows down over here. Yeah. I agree with that. And RSI does have some divergence going on over here. Is this relevant though is a question, and it is. It is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Let me go see if I can recreate it. Need to go recreate it myself then, man. So 4 hour over here. Let's bring this up. And do I have it? I actually don't have it on mine. Funnily enough, man. Are you looking at your... You must be looking at your stows or something, man, because I actually don't see the divergence on mine unless you're going all the way back here. But I'm guessing not, probably. Yeah, that's way over here. So yeah, I'm curious, man. I'm curious. What are your settings on that one? Because I'm not seeing it myself, unless if it's these stows down here, which perhaps it is. Nope, not those ones either. So yeah, man, I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure. Interesting though. Please do clarify that though. I want to see. All right. Let's see. Amit says when Bitcoin went to 5,800, we saw most alts down. Okay, yeah. By you saying we will see 5,000, 4,000, do you want to see alts 90? It's not about what I want to see, man. It's about what the market's gonna do. And most of these fucking coins are gutter coins. They're fucking garbage. They're worthless. They're not going to be traded in a few years. And I don't mean to sound like an asshole here. I really don't. It's just be aware that, you know, a lot of the things that you read on the internet are not very scrupulous. They will lie to you to dump on you. Hey, what's up? Keep it Crypto 420. What the fuck's up, man? How you doing? Diesel TV says people are already very depressed and sold all their crypto. Normies have given up on crypto. I'd want to see more like statistics on that is what I want to see. You know, if I go over here, my only way of really looking at public sentiment is this. Let's do some Google Trends. Yeah, some good old trends over here. All right, so I'm going to look at Bitcoin, right? BTC. Bitcoin, and let me just get out of Finland and let me go to the whole worldwide. And has everyone lost hope? Let's go to the higher time frame. 5 years. And okay, so we're right at 8 right now. So 8's pretty low, but where we bottomed out before, 2. Yep, about 2. Yeah, so you can see over here, this was like 8 and 10 right here before we really bottomed out at around, you know, 2 to 4, it looks like. 2 to 4 is where we bottom out at, and we're at about 8 right now. And we're actually ticking down if you're looking at this. So, yeah, I would be aware of this, man. I would certainly be aware of this. This would actually suggest that, hey, you actually have a little bit more downside to go. All right, back now over here. Let's see. Z-Rex says, crazy that more money has flowed into ICOs fivefold this year compared to last. Holy shit, man. I'm sure that there are statistics for that, but goddamn, man, that's a good and a bad thing in a bear market. We haven't seen the monster run. Did your grandma buy it? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we haven't seen the big run. And I do, guys, I will say this. While I do think that Bitcoin sees new lows at some point in time, I do think that Bitcoin also hit some of those crazier numbers that you hear like John McAfee talk about, like 100,000, 150,000, within a few years. I actually do believe that. I actually do fucking believe that. Jacob Lynn says, dude, hook me up with the ledger. Maybe we could do that. Meat says, if Bitcoin goes below 5,000, will we see below $100? I don't know what you mean by that. Like $100 for Bitcoin? I don't think Bitcoin goes below $100. I think that would be a little bit. I think there'd be something like seriously wrong with Bitcoin if you went below $100. Z-Rex says, did you long after your short got smashed? What? My short got smashed. I didn't take I haven't been short in a while. Actually, I went short this morning at like 70, 69 or something like that. But probably just gonna end up being a scalp. I'm not sure what you're talking about, though. I haven't really been short recently. Hey, what's up, Greg Smith? How you doing, man? How you doing? All right. 71 is a nasty nut, very reminiscent of the 6,500 region, says Greg Smith. Yeah, it does seem like we are kind of fucking around over there, huh? It seems like there is a lot of interest over here, but I do think that we take another leg up from here. I don't think that the run's over just yet. At least that's what my heart would say. But again, that's my opinion, man. My opinion's fucking worthless. It's technical analysis. So, look for, if we do lose this area right here, look for 69.25. That if we lose that area, then look for 67.50. Z-Rex says, so dumb. It's easy to blame people for your bags. Yeah, of course. Market makers just want lots of directions. Yeah, there you go. Again, market makers are only going to take a trade if they only care about the theoretical edge. And I can tell you this again from experience. I'm only going to trade with you if I have some theoretical edge in the trade, because I'm not even playing the same game as you. I'm playing the reversal conversion markets is what I'm doing. I mean, like, whereas other people are like trying to play Mr. Gambler, like put it all on red, put it all on black, and look for a direction. No, not at all. What a market maker wants to do is say, hey, if I know that I can sell this, if I know that I can sell this call over here, buy this put over here, and then buy this, buy the stock over here, and I have 10 cents edge, and I do it 100 times, well, I just lock in $1,000 immediately. And it's like, I don't give a fuck about direction, man. That's the whole point of it, to be delta neutral, to basically not have any exposure, whether it goes up or down. You can just lock it in. Again, yes, there are some market makers that will look for direction, but very, very rarely, actually. Nice. Jacob Lynn says, more or less, maybe. Not best comparison, but for anyone who doesn't get it. What? I guess I'm reading this out of context, man. Hero Prees says, Puglicious. Hero Puglicious, sir. How you doing, man? What is your name now? Is it like Bugami or Bugami? I don't even know, man. Hey, Moanten, what's up? How you doing, man? Welcome back, and I'm happy that you survived the good old tests. Finally down with exams. Fucking yes, man. Back to grinding charts. Beautiful, man. Do something that's actually worthwhile. Love it. MK Hanny says, Bitcoin has 2 more days max of upside before retracement. I don't like putting time frames on things. I do agree with you that I think that this run probably does find some serious resistance and probably does reverse. I do agree with that. I can't say like, hey, it's going to be 2 days. I don't really have anything to go off of for that. But hey, if we do go over here, you would say that you're running into some pretty damn thick resistances. So, the charts would be on your side. They would be agreeing with you that, hey, Bitcoin really has to prove itself right here. This is kind of like the big, for me, this is kind of the big area, really. The rest of this week, can Bitcoin maintain above 7,200 essentially? If you can start closing weeklies above 7,200, then yes, maybe we might get a more prolonged sideways, shakeout essentially. But if it cannot, I do believe that you will see that final descent to the ultimate lows, probably in the next month or so. So yeah. All right, Tom BJ says, I know heaps of retailers normally still hodling and calling for moon next week. Could go way lower. Yeah, man, and Hodge Twins just uploaded a video that XRP is going to make me rich. Well, it's going to make me rich in laughs, man, because fucking Hodge Twins are great. Could go way lower. This ICO money is up. Yeah, that's, Tom BJ, you bring up a great point, man. You bring up a great point. We fail to realize a lot of the times, like, the bigger picture, right? And just 1 year ago, so we are August 29th, 18. What if we go to August 2017? That would be right around here. Well, where were we on August 2017? We were at an average price probably around this range, 4,000. So we're quite literally like almost 2x up from last year. So people who literally just bought last year, held and did not, never read a chart, never did anything, just said, this Bitcoin thing sounds cool. Heard about it on the CNBCs. Then they're actually still almost 2x up. So again, they actually haven't even been tested. They haven't even been tested once, funnily enough. No one below this area right here has been tested. No one below 6,000 no one really below the 6,000 range has been seriously tested. Yes, we have gone down to 5,800. I do realize that. But, just a little bit leniency with judging these numbers over here. So yeah, man, excellent point, man. And for a lot of these ICOs, you're right. They're still like, look at Ethereum, man. Ethereum's like 3x, I think, something like that. Let's go over here. What's Buterin doing? 292. Again, very nasty chart overall, but it could have some upside here. As long as you're below 320, you can't be too bearish on this thing. So yeah. Overall, for Mr. Buterin, where were you last year, right? Where were you last year? You're actually right around where you were. funny how that works out. But again, just to quickly chart out Mr. Buterin, this is what I'll be looking at right here. And hey, you got the infamous H pattern, in my opinion. And the fact that you just even revisited these lows over here is not good. Now, we are having a reaction off this area right here. We did take out this resistance, and we are finding a little bit of resistance at this next guy right here. But the main point with Mr. Buterin is that as long as you're below 320, it's a very difficult chart to love. That means you can get all the way up there. You can even have a nice long trade, like $30 long. $30 win, and still it would be a heavily bearish chart. Now, if you do close a daily dodo above this area right here, there's very little stopping you from this area right here, 420. You'd have like a nice, maybe, actually no, you would have this area to deal with, huh? You'd have to deal with 370 first. But overall, it would take on a different meaning, in my opinion. Nice little breakout. So yeah, back onto the mexers of the world and back onto the lower time frames as we do crawl our way along here. Let's see how this one works out. All right, back over here. Yoni says Bitcoin about to break the bull flag. Let's go check it out, man. Let's go check it out. All right, let's. So if we are looking at this as a bull flag, so this would be your upper resistance right here. Let's see. So what do we need for? We need to break this level right here, about 670, 65 on MEX. And because it is a bull flag, we should theoretically be able to make a measure move off this, right? So let's just take this and apply this to the prospective breakout area. Now, I'm making an assumption here. I'm not saying that this is going to happen. I'm making an assumption here that we get the bullish break of this. Well, where this be pointing us towards? About 72.50. About 72.50. But keep in mind, this is a very low time frame. So just because it's hinting, I don't put too much weight on it, to be honest with you. And you do have to still deal with this area right here as resistance, 70, or what is it? It's really like 7,100 if I'm using like the 2 hour. Yeah, it's really like this area right here, actually. Yeah, right around here. It'd be like 7,100, we'll call it even. To kind of round around. All right. And take this on off again and back on over here to the comments. Okay, let's see. Mike Thekla Park says Swedish coffee is like a massive dildo straight to your stabbed many times this week. Mike Thekla Sparks got some one-liners, man. Love it. Z-Rex says, you said you had a short last night. Oh, and you were going to close it if no close below 69.10. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so Z-Rex, I shorted yesterday at like 70, 60-ish area, and then we started creeping back down. I ended up just taking like $20 off it. It ended up just being a scalp because it did not want to break this 70, 20-ish area right here. Yeah, you're right. So again, I do like a lot of very, very short-term trades. So sometimes I don't remember exactly what's going on, to be honest with you. Sounds pretty bad, huh? But yeah. So yeah, it's just I think I shorted like somewhere right around here, yeah, and then I took it right around here, something like that, and then yeah, it just failed to break down. So again, not the best, just kind of a fucking boredom trade really at the end of the day. Crypto Deet says, morning Krown. Hey, morning to you too, man. And my pleasure, man. And again, I apologize for kind of skipping over that as first. And I don't mean to sound this arrogant, but I get a lot of messages on Discord, and it's not that I never want to reply to anyone. It's just like sometimes like things start stacking up and I'm like, oh shit, well, I just forget. And it's not anything personal. It's not anything like that. It's just like overwhelming at times, to be honest. What's up, Greg Smith? Hey, Krown. Where are all these shorts hanging out? You think there's a stop loss Nirvana at 71 to 70 to 7,500? Well, I think we are kind of shaking them out pretty well over here, man. You've lost about 10,000 shorts. I mean, well, about 9,000 or yeah, about 9,000 shorts from the top over here, getting all the way down to 31,000. Are you looking for you're looking for like the big home run of like just liquidation upon liquidation, you know, where you get something like this? I don't think you're going to get this, man. I think shorts are slowly flipping is what it looks like. Let's bring up the data mish over here. I'm curious what they're saying. How many are hedged is a real question. And we got, whoops, there it is. We actually have more hedges now, funnily enough. We have almost 6,000 hedged, so we really have about 25,500 open shorts. So we have about 25 versus 27.5. So actually there's more longs than shorts right now, funnily enough. So yeah, man, yeah. So we are shaking a lot of them out, I'd imagine. Most of those shorts, a lot of those shorts are hedged, and pretty much we've lost everyone who shorted around here, around the 18th of August. So if we go into price action, where was that? That was right around here. So everyone who shorted below 6,500, they're out. They're out. And we kind of knew that, you know, as we took out this resistance right here, they had to de-risk. As we took out this resistance right here at 6,900, they had to de-risk. And I'd imagine they're just kind of sweating. If you are still holding on to your short right now, you're sweating, and you're probably a few ticks away from letting go your short, you know, anyways. So yeah, man, good eyes on you. Good eyes on you. All right. Swedish Trucking says, good talk about market makers. Yeah, man, I always want to be, it always kind of, I don't mean to come off like an arrogant asshole when I talk about it. It's just, it's one of those things, like, I know that from experience, so I can directly say, hey, a lot of these people, they don't, like, they're just perpetuating a myth and just blaming others, where it's like, dude, a market maker does not give a fuck about that. They're not, and again, at the end of the day, like, to take it even a step further, what we talked about, you have a shit ton of market makers, right? It's not just one guy, right? It's a shit ton. It's like like hundreds of thousands. I don't know if it's hundreds of thousands, but it's a lot, right? And my point is with this is that they're all in a competition with each other, and they're all fucking whores who will do it for 1 cent better if they can. So just it makes me laugh a little bit when people talk about that, because it's like, do you think that all the market makers just conspired to come together just to fuck just you? It's like probably not. So yeah. Peep DJI says Z-Rex. All right, let's go look at Dow Jones Industrial. I think I already have it on my list over here. I believe I should. Yep, there it is. Always got to have the Dow Jones over there. And look at that, baby. Look at that. It's following SPY's footsteps, it looks like. Again, it's not making new highs like SPY is, but it's in a nice little breakout right here. You do have a major gap at this level right here, 26,400, 26,500-ish area. So I don't really see too much stopping you from there, and probably just catches wind of the overall SPYs. Big thing with this is that as long as you're above this guy right here, 25,700, you're looking damn good. And by the same token, it ain't until, you know, really, I just don't agree with people who are extremely bearish on traditional markets. Until you actually close below 24,800, it's hard to be bearish on it. If you do that, then yeah, be fucking bearish. But for right here, right now, you're well and far away from that, and you're just hinting at, you know, more upside most likely. I mean, just looking at the SPYs over here, man, SPYs look fucking good, dude. SPYs look I mean, new high after new high, and that's the saying. You know, as the saying goes, you know, something that's making highs continues to make new highs until it doesn't. And really, that's the only way to play a blue sky breakout, is just you get fucking long until it tells you that, hey, we got some major selling coming in. Heavy volume, some sort of reversal dildo formation, and follow through on top of that. That's going to be your three things to look for. Right here, right now, you don't really have that. Now you do have some red coming at the top over here, but I'm going to guess if we zoom in, it's probably, yeah, looks like a little bit of consolidation right here, right now. You do have a gap right here, but overall, I don't see really any reason to panic just yet. Doesn't mean that you can't, but again, one thing before the other. Don't want to anticipate price action beforehand. All right, let's see. Tom BJ says, good point, Krown. Most retailers still trading that I know got in 1 to 2 years ago and are still up. Yeah, man, yeah, and that's a huge thing that we fail to remember, right? Now, don't get me wrong. All the people who bought after October last year are completely fucking wrecked. I mean, they probably went out, you know, here's the thing, man. It's hard to imagine that someone bought, you know, over here and then held like all the way down to here, and it's like still holding over here. Like they're probably out by now. This first stab down to 6,000 was really fucking intense, you know. It was nothing to fuck with, right? Nothing to fuck with. But yeah, you know, we do fail to realize, you know, if you got in 2 to 3 years ago, you not only have you not even been tested, you're nowhere near being tested. You're still up X's, not percentages. You're up X's, right? So it's just that weird thing with cryptocurrency. It's like people aren't. That's a funny thing with cryptocurrency. It's like you can't be happy with 10%. You have to be happy with 10x. It's like, all right, well, that's it's an interesting way of doing things. All right, back now over here. Let's see. Jacob Lynn says, just locked in a nice 7.5% Scalperino, boys. Nice, man. Fucking nice. Krown, is derivative off limits to U.S. traders like MEX? Yes, it's very off limits. It's very illegal, except if you know how to use a VPN. Good old hide.me or tunnelbear.com, but you did not hear that. So yeah, there you go. Yeah, I do believe it's they don't accept U.S. Customers. Z-Rex says, most retailers got in 2 years ago. I would disagree. Most people still don't even know what Bitcoin is. Oh, yeah, if you're going off of like the whole population, right? Because there's been studies done or statistics shown that only 5% of Americans have ever owned a cryptocurrency. So, yeah, I would say that the masses never even got in. They never even got in, man. But for the people who did get in, yeah, then, you know, you could still say that. They don't even know what Bitcoin is. Yeah, that's very true, man. You know, we're in our own echo chamber, right? Because we, you know, if you're probably listening to a stream like this, you probably in some way you believe in cryptocurrency at the very least. And most people think that cryptocurrency is still like some sort of a major scam, which most of it is. You know, don't get me wrong, most of it fucking is. But you know, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, however that saying goes, because you know there are some gems in here, and I actually do believe long term they could very well be major winners. Like I said, I always have to repeat this, man. I do believe that you will see Bitcoin at some of those crazy numbers that sometimes you hear around the web. You know, 100,000 in a few years is not off the mark. All right. Tommy just says, not saying most got in then, but the ones, yeah, exactly. Greg Smith says, so the resistance is panic selling and FOMO profit taking, shorts closing. It does look to me like a lot of shorts are closing there, yeah. And we have lost some longs though. Like longs are distributing, right? Longs are distributing around here, which is never a good sign. And you're creating a bear flag on the long chart. No, of course not. You can't do that. I want to be very, very clear about that, because I've been seeing this around the web, like Ched's trading thinks that like you can make guys, it's a cup and handle on the short start. It's like, no, it's not. You can't do that. You can't fucking do that. But yeah, we lost about what, 2,000 shorts. Sorry, 2,000 longs in the last day, guys. We've lost 2,000 longs in the last day. Longs are distributing around this area. That's also a very important part. So, Greg Smith, you do have a good eye, man, because we are finding some shifts going on right here. We're seeing longs distribute, we're seeing shorts being shaken out, and overall we're seeing a lot of, it's just lining up with a lot of resistances. You got a 9 on your titty sequential on the 12-hour, 4-hour, and 1 hour. I believe not too long ago. So let's see what this one kind of rolls around with. Okay, Z-Rex wants to look at Bcash. Let's go check it out, man. Or we're ticking up right here right now, by the way. Let's go see how it's doing. All right, right at the resistance if you want to look at the 10-minute. BCH USD on Finex. And we got the daily right here. And very similar to Mr. Buterol, right? Very similar. You know, it's coming off the lows. I don't like how it's not seeing the same sort of love as Mr. Bitcoin over here. It's still below this local high at 608. And as long as you're closing dailies below 608, I really don't like it, man. And I'm extremely hesitant to be taking a trade there. If you do close a daily above 608, well then yes, you know, I don't see much stopping you from this area over here, 650, 660, and then perhaps even this area right here at about 730-ish area. So again, please do be aware of that as you know, the other high market cap cones are not following Bitcoin in like a 1-to-1 ratio. You'd imagine when Bitcoin's like breaking out of lower term time frames and making, you know, new local highs, you'd want to see that replicated in your in your other high market cap coins. You're not. Both Buterol and Bitcoin Cash look like this, and Litecoin to a lesser extent, but all failing to get above their local highs. Where again, if I needed to relate it to Bitcoin over here, Bitcoin's local high was right here, right? And it got above that a few days ago. And in fact, it's actually even taken another leg above that. So again, this is why I'm very hesitant, because in my experience, in my humble experience, what I can say about that is that in traditional equities, whenever you see the generals of the market, like your spies, your Indus, your Dow Jones, your NYs, your NAS, all these sorts of different big indices rally, but it's not followed up by the subsidiaries. Well, that almost always leads to bad behavior. So again, this is why I'm a little bit shaky around here. I'm not sure if we lose it right here, right now, but I would be saying, hey, it's certainly on my radar to come. Certainly on my radar to come, to put it lightly. All right, back now over here. Let's see. Tom BJ says my entire trading group was still in the green bar. A couple most think they are pros as they made heaps in a bull market, and have a false sense of confidence. IMO. Yeah, man, that's one of those things. Retailers who got in late are mostly gone for sure. Yeah. So there is that saying: don't confuse brains with the bull market. Everyone's a fucking genius in a bull market, essentially, and that's why you saw a lot of people kind of come out the woodworks last year. Posting their Elliott wave charts, saying, "Guys, we got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to 100,000 for Bitcoin. No worries about that." And it's like, well, you look like a genius at first because everything's going to the fucking moon. That's what the blow off top phase is of the last part of your market phase. Well, after that, the market starts turning around, and it's like you don't really see these people posting anymore because, well, they're either wrecked or they've realized that, well, maybe this doesn't work too well. So again, it doesn't really get it too well. All right. Zrex says, Tom BJ, I hear you and totally agree. But I would say people that bought years ago won't be tested, and only the people who bought over 3,000-ish. And for sure, most retailers got shook out for sure. Yeah, I'd agree with that. And you know what? To that point, this is a good place to talk about market cycles over here. Going back to my stamp chart and putting it on the weekly. So here, or actually, let's go to the BLX, right? Let's go over different market cycles. And the thing is, when you complete a market cycle, the idea is that the people who got in, like in the midst of that market cycle, they will never be tested again, barring any sort of major drastic circumstance. But, the people who got in during the 2014 market cycle, this bear trend over here, they're never going to be tested most likely. This level over here is protected by this level over here is kind of the way that I look at it. Just like at the end of this market cycle over here, it's going to likely become the floor. Your prior high of about 20,000. Now, this could take some time. Don't get me wrong. It could take a lot of fucking time. But that is the general idea, and that is kind of the benefit of hodling over a long period of time. You get protected, essentially. Is a bad way of putting it because it's also not necessarily true. But, you basically have the greater fool syndrome if you want to relate it that way. It's kind of a dirty word to say, but it is actually true. So yeah, same thing over here. Your prior high over here becomes a floor. You never really test this area again. Same thing over here. Your prior high over here becomes a floor over here. You never really get tested below this area again. And I'd imagine that the prior high over here, which is actually 1,000, about 1,200, 1,300-ish area, you probably won't get tested below there. But that also means you actually could come all the way down there. Funnily enough, which would shake out a lot of people. I'd imagine that would scare a lot of people. So again, just offering up ideas over here. And let's see. All right, so if we are morphing into a bull flag here, which I'm definitely not sold on. It's still finding this area's resistance, so that's good. It's still being respected, and let's just see how it kind of moves on over here. All right. Okay, back now over here. Tom BJ says, yeah, below 3,000 is unlikely. I would say it's unlikely as well, but hey, if you're talking about really, really scaring some people, that would do it, because just look at your guys' reaction to it. It's almost like an emotional hit, and I feel it too, man. I feel it too. Don't get me wrong. Like I look at that and I say, hey, whoa, if Bitcoin goes below 3,000, that's kind of scary. But again, going back on over here, when you look at the higher time frames, you realize very quickly, if you already haven't, we can go to the monthly over here, and the monthly is your prior high becomes your prior high becomes your new lows. So that would actually imply 1,400 would be kind of that area if we mark this off right here. Couldn't put in the high prior high. Just so you understand what I'm kind of speaking on over here. Look, your prior high of this market cycle becomes your low of this market cycle. Your prior high of this market cycle becomes, a little bit, it doesn't get all the way down to this guy, but you kind of get the idea. So yeah, maybe it doesn't get all the way down here, but you'd imagine, well, in this range of like 2,000 to 3,000 is actually possible. Actually fucking possible. I know it's scary, and believe me, I don't want to see it there as well, but it is certainly possible. All right, back now over here, and let's see what we got on the lower time frames. And again, I just want to quickly talk about the monthly one more time. Going back on over here to stamp, taking everything off. The monthly does scare me. We've been dancing around the 21 exponential for a long time. This yellow line right here, and I'm sure Z-Rex, who I know trades a lot of traditional markets, is aware of this as well. You know. Your monthly 21 exponential is kind of like your litmus test for generally bullish, generally bearish, and you can see that, you know, just the fact that we're kind of basing on it right now, not a dense sentence in itself, but the fact that we kind of lived above it for quite some time and are now coming down to it is a little bit hairy. We are red on the monthly MACD, and your monthly RSI is heading into the neutral zone, it looks like. And the only other time we didn't even get into the bear zone in your monthly RSI, by the way, on the last market cycle. But we did kind of test the upper zone of it at around 40 to 45-ish area. Stochastics do have plenty of room to go down. They do have plenty of room to go down. But my point is with this is we do have this monthly closing, in like 2 days, 3 days. How many days are in August? I don't know, like 30 or 31. And if we do close it below this yellow 21 exponential, well, when was the only other time Bitcoin's ever lived below it in Bitcoin's almost 10-year history? Well, over here. You saw what happened after that. So similar price action in some ways, but you never know. You never know. Again, until it actually happens, don't want to be too aggressive with that. All right, so let's see. We're going to have another chance to take another stab at this resistance right here. Let's see what happens. All right, back now here. Z-Rex says, and I meant more if you had deeper thoughts on BCH versus Bitcoin in regards to the whole debate. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Gotcha, Z-Rex. I think Bcash is a scam, man. The people who are like kind of at the head of it, like Craig Wright, Roger Ver, Jihan Wu, and the other guy, they all seem to have a clash of interests. It seems like I think they're going to split themselves. And I don't like how they essentially have tried to initiate a corporate takeover of the underlying Bitcoin. You know, Bitcoin, they call it Bitcoin Core. And the way that they kind of get on the TVs and explain themselves is very misleading. I really don't like that. And overall, I think the character of Roger Ver speaks volume for itself. You know, you see him get very emotional. You see him always say stupid shit, man. He says the exact wrong, like, you know when R. Kelly was being like asked after like he got caught peeing on a fucking preteen girl or some shit like that. He was being like asked, are you a pedophile? And he says, or like, are you attracted to young girls? And he says, define young. It's like, whoa, yo, dude, that's like the wrong thing to say. Like, say anything other than that, right? To say anything fucking other than that. You know, it's like Roger Ver has a lot of those moments. It's like, are you a criminal? He's like, well, if you look at my record, it would not say that. It's like, what? It's like, no, you just say no, you dumb fuck. It's like, are you the real Bitcoin? Well, we are definitely the real Bitcoin. It's like, no, if you're the real Bitcoin, you don't have to fucking tell people that, right? You don't have to fucking tell people that. And just the fact, okay, and this is just, maybe this is my conditioning as an American, but the fact that you have like cash after a name just reeks of like Chinese fucking fake bullshit. And I know that sounds maybe even a little bit racist or some shit like that. I don't intend it like that at all. It's just we're kind of conditioned with like fakery, like plastic, you know, bad programming. And you know, you look at the programming for, speaking of programming, you look at the programming for Bcash, and it's very, very light. The developers for it are it's a small amount of people, and apparently they're not that skilled from the people that I trust to understand that sort of like dynamic. And for Bitcoin, Bitcoin, you know, the programmers there are like some of the best guys in the world who do it out of love. You know, it's an altruistic project, and they take a long time, and there's a shit ton of them. There's like 100 to 150 of them, and if you go through their histories, they are extremely impressive. Like some of the best guys in the world, the best minds in the world. Whereas Bcash, you can't say the same for that. It's a very small group of people, and maybe like one or two of them have skills is what I understand, but the rest of them are just, you know, it's just like they just graduated college or some shit like that. All right, back now over here. Let's see. Peep W4500. All right, the Wilson 4500. All right, W4500. I'm not familiar with this. All right. Wilshire 4500 index. Okay. Wow. Okay, so I guess I can't look at the other time frames. Oh, and look at that. Z-Rex, you have identified it correctly, man. You are breaking out to goddamn heaven. And look at this, man. Ascending triangle into a lovely, lovely, lovely blue sky breakout. And because it is an ascending triangle, you can certainly make a measure move off of it. Look at this. Oops, let's get that right there. Let's get this over there, and you do have that nice breakout already. 1550 is where I'm looking for. 1550 is where I'm looking for, and of course, all you have to do is just defend this 1490-ish area. As long as you're closing daily dollars above there, I think it's pretty damn good. By the same token, the weekly, yeah, okay, yeah, I see what's going on there, yeah. But overall, blue sky breakout, you know what to do, man. You know what to. Z-Rex is like the master of finding breakouts. It's crazy. Let's see. I picked all the best. Yeah, fuck yeah, you did, man. Krown, I was so genius in 1990. You have no idea. The good old .com, man. You know, that was like first when I was learning about trading, man, because I used to go down to the floor of the Pacific Stock Exchange and be like a clerk for my dad who was a trader over there. And I was like kind of in the midst of the first wave of that. It was interesting to see, man. You know, to really like see it firsthand and like the exuberant irrationality as, you know, as like a teenager essentially, was very telling, man, to like see people do that. All right, back now over here. XMR, you want to look at XMR? Yeah, let's go check it out. Or if you're asking about it from a fundamental perspective, I don't really know too much about XMR from a fundamental perspective. I definitely know it's one of the more high quality cones out there. But at the end of the day, Bitcoin is going to have privacy at some point in time. So it's like, what will be XMR's, you know, relevancy then? So yeah, okay, so this is what I like to do is like compare it to the other high caps, and XMR is one of the stronger of the higher market caps, right? You are taking out this local high right here. You've confirmed above it, and you're testing your next big resistance right here at about at $1.09. Whereas, you know, Buterol, Bcash, Litecoin Cone are not getting up there. Only Monero and maybe a few others out of the high caps. By the same token, you know, you have resistance right here. As long as you're respecting this resistance, though, it's kind of a question mark, right? Because this is your former bear flag breakdown area. So you really want to see this area be respected if you are going to play out a more bearish move. And again, at the end of the day, the most important things for any altcoin is essentially, well, whatever Bitcoin's going to do, they're probably just going to follow, you know, they're probably just going to follow, right? But doesn't mean, you know, again, you know, if Bitcoin takes a step up, then where am I looking for? I'm looking for this as my next big resistance at 122. If Bitcoin takes a step down, I want to see it find some support comfort at $99.50. So yeah, overall, Monero definitely one of the more strong ones in this market, but still got to, you know, still not bifurcated from Bitcoin, at least in my opinion. All right, let me go check it on over here, just making sure my screens are good to go. There we go. All right. Okay. Let's see. 1 second over here. There we go, baby. Sorry, just going through some other things. By the way, for anyone not aware, CNBC did post a bullish tweet. Okay, back now over here. Bcash is the ultimate shitcoin. Yeah, it's again, I'm not a developer myself. I'm not a programmer, so I can't like actually tell you about the actual code. But the people that I trust the most to understand that sort of thing, they have severe apprehensions with it. In fact, they don't have severe apprehensions with it. They fucking hate it. Bcash is split. Craig made his own fork. Okay, so has that already happened? Keep it crypto 420. By the way, thank you for chiming in with that, man, because I don't know like the actual news about it. But yeah, so okay, so they're splitting it off. Great. So now it's like they have like a rift in the actual underlying. It's like, okay, great. So which one's the real Bcash now, right? So what are they gonna have, like Bcash and then Bcash Classic? It's like you get where I'm going with this, right? It's like they do it to themselves. It's like the snake eating its own tail syndrome. Adrian Let's Go says, wish I found you in like May. Hey man, I wish you found this place too in May, Mr. Adrian Let's Go, man. A pleasure as always, man. It's been great to get to know you, my friend, as well as everyone else here, man. That's what makes the community so great and why I've like even been more motivated to keep on doing this. So much fun, man. So much fun. LOL. Fortnite in shell. LOL. Yep. Z-Rex says Tom BJ. They're all shitcoins, says Paul Generis. Yeah. I would, you know, Paul, you can always trust Paul to keep it real, man. Paul keeps it fucking real over here, and I haven't seen you in a while, man. So it's so good to see you, Mr. Paul Generis. And yes, I'd agree with that. Most cones in this market are absolute garbage. You can even say Bitcoin could be garbage. Now, I do believe in Bitcoin long term, but it's just one of those things, man. It's like we are dealing with an asset that is highly speculative. Is there much use for Bitcoin right now? Not really. Not really. Doesn't mean that there can't be. And I do believe that the world is moving in that direction, to be very, very clear, because I'm always going to get like the extremists being like, Krown, what the fuck are you saying? It's like, well, hold on. But you know, for the most part, most of these things are completely unnecessary. And I like Charlie Lee's way of relating these concepts is great. They're fun tokens. It's like going to Chuck E. Cheese. You exchange your real money that's used everywhere for money that can only be used for some sort of stupid fucking protocol that is not even needed. It's like licking ass on the blockchain. By the way, stop reading charts, guys. All you have to the charts were looking bearish until a certain ass-licking prophecy was sealed. Hey, Don One, what's up, man? Sorry, Jacob Lynn says, yeah, it's like Jesus R. Kelly slapped the damn... Yeah, hello, Defon Young. Comment of the week. Yeah, man, you guys don't remember that, man? He goes, they're like, like he's on CNBC or like CNN or some shit, and they're interviewing him like a very serious section, and they're saying like, R. Kelly, do you actually like preteen girls? And he's like, or do you like young girls? He's like, Define young. It's like, yo, dude, you can't say that. All you have to say is fucking no, man. and it's case closed. It's case fucking closed. But you say like the only worst thing that you could have said is, yeah, I like them. It's like, define young. Do you mean like below 12? No. Do you mean below 18? Well, now we're in a little bit of a shaky zone now, aren't we? Yoni Katchen says, so close to breaking that resistance. It's so close, but yet so far. And again, this is how it entices you in, right? It entices you in because look at that, and then it just shoves it down. This is why you got to be anti-FOMO. And I'm probably going to release a video on this soon on like why, kind of explaining my strategy and why I have this strategy, because breakouts just, they're very rare, man. They're pretty damn rare. All right, so back now over here. Gino, hey, Gino, what's up, man? How you doing, Gino? TRX is going to take off, just listed in KuCoin. Well, let's see. Let's see if the market agrees with you, man. Let's see if it just got listed in KuCoin, well, that just means more people can sell it now, doesn't it? Again, okay, nice. Hey, there you go. Hey, TRX actually having a good day. You know what, Gino? I agree with you, man. I agree with you. This is a very high volume dilly right here, taking you above this major resistance right here, above your 21 exponential, that yellow line right there. I'd be buying the retest of it, which perhaps you already got. I like this, man. I actually like this. Perhaps you are creating a broadening wedge, but again, I give it the benefit of the doubt. Looks like you have a falling wedge over here. It's like the really ugly one, but you know what? Still works. And more importantly, I'd see very little stopping you from, you know what? I take out this area right here. I'd say I see very little stopping you from this area right here at around 430. As long as you defend 354, I think 430 is kind of the next one on your radar right there. And perhaps even you make a full run to 471. So yeah, there you go. All right, back on to the Bitcoin cones over here, and back on over here to the comments. All right, Z-Rex says, dude, I'm so jealous I didn't get to see that. Ella, not sure about the R. Kelly comparison, but thanks for the comment. There you go. Interesting, though, see a lot of old school cypherpunks I know have swung to Bitcoin Cash. Really? There's more than meets the eye. Perhaps, man, perhaps. You know, again, I'm not a developer. I'm not a programmer, so I'm not gonna act like I'm speaking from like experience and understanding the actual coding of it. I don't know. Jacob Lynn says, Krown, how do you feel about the Adam and Eve bottoms like on that Monero chart? All right, let's go to it. Let's go on over here to Moneros at $1.05. Adam, so you're calling an Adam and Eve bottom. I don't see no Adam and Eve over here, man. Your Adam and Eve maybe would have been over here, and this would have been your Eve. This looks like a long-term distribution is what it looks like, man, over a very long period of time. Where's your Adam and Eve, man? I don't see it at all. There's none. I mean, even this is a stretch over here. This is not even a real one over here, but there ain't nothing over here, even more so. Unless you're going to say this is your Adam right here, and then maybe you put an Eve right there. Maybe. Could that be right? Okay, so yeah, maybe I'm wrong in even looking at the right area. So what are you saying? This is your Adam right here, then you put in Eve right here? Yeah, that could be right. I mean, it's just basically an inverted head and shoulders, man, is what it is. You know, getting too clever with the names, huh? B Cash Crash. B Cash Cash. Yeah, there you go. Hey, what's up, Christina Black? How you doing? A pleasure as always. The Queen of Alts, or is it even the Queen of Alts anymore? I haven't seen any alt calls recently, but goddamn it, Christina, I'm glad that you're here. Craig Cash. Yeah, there you go, Dan Brusser. Sub Crown. Hey, what's up, Christina? How you doing? Z-Rex says, and Ouroboros. What? What's Ouroboros? I have no idea what that is. Hello, Craig Cash would be epic. Yeah, man. That guy seems to have some very, like, billionaire mode engaged. It's like, all right, dude, you're just a fucking... You're a fucking cunt is what you are. Sorry, I don't mean to offend anyone with that language, but it's like, who says that, man? Like who even says that, you know? Who even fucking says that? Very strange behavior indeed. All right, back now over here to the comments. FPWNCXY. Hey, Ground. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Can you check MCO USD? Sure, man. On Trex, flagging out since ages ago. Okay. All right, let's go check it out. Let me bring it up over here. I haven't looked at this one in ages, man. So you want to look at it versus USD on Trex? Okay, we can do that. We can do that. Flagging out for a long time. Okay, so overall, yeah. Hey, so when we're talking about the market, right, I always want to highlight cones that look completely different from other things, because this one does have a completely different chart than most things, right? You're doing something like this. You're doing something like this. You're trying to consolidate over a long period of time. So this is telling me that there's likely some sort of a big institution like who's interested in this thing. As they're just not there, it's getting attention in a way that you just don't see attention being given in the general market. And you're respecting these areas over here. Overall, though, it's just consolidation over a long period of time. So I don't have anything. I say overall, it's a more positive sign overall in the longer term. Look at it. But for right here, right now, it's like, well, do I just buy this blindly? No, I don't. I want to see, just like Bitcoin, I want to see over 10,000 before I get long on it. I want to see this thing over this area right here at about $14 or so. Yeah, about 14 and a half bucks. And this slap in the face area would be $21. If you can get it above $21, start closing dailies above there. Very, very good. By the same token, it could be that you consolidate even lower, over time. But for right here, right now, definitely a lot more good than bad than the rest of the market. So yeah, man, that's all I have to say about that. And of course, you want to defend this area right here. You would have some sort of, your next resistance would be coming right around here, blah, 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 blah. You already know where this is going, man. And then right around here, this is your next big breakout area, most likely. All right, back on over to the cone, to the king cone, and back on over here to the comments. All right, there we go. Melinton says, Jesus coin, however, now that's a gem decentralized redemption. That's right, guys. Pray to your Jesus coin, incorporate your Jesus coin, because it is the only way that you can find salvation through the Lord's blockchain. Andre Martin says Banksa Army. I have no idea what that means, but please don't hurt me. Keep it Crypto 420 says R. Kelly coin by Craig Wright. I'm down. Greg Smith says, I've only been trading for a few months. If this action is a small taste of what a bull market would be, I prefer it to a bearish scenario. Yeah, I'd agree, man. Bull market is much easier on the soul. But hey, you are also getting a 100% fucking phenomenal master's education in market cycles right here, right now. Because typically this would take, like decades to complete in traditional markets. But cryptocurrencies is like the speed of light. Tom BJ says, what is an Adam and Eve bottom? V-shaped recovery. So Tom BJ, an Adam and Eve is essentially like this. Here, I'm going to draw it out. Let's get some... I'll draw it down here, okay? I'm going to give you, yeah. So in Adam and Eve, you want to basically be putting them like a V bottom, like this, and then you basically create a rounded off bottom, would be your Eve, something like this. So this is your Adam, like a nice V bottom, like capitulation low, and then you kind of peter out and then do a little bit of accumulation right here on lower volume as an Eve. So yeah, that's what you'd be looking at right there. I'm going to delete it now, so hopefully you're good with that. But yeah, you can always rewind, man. The DVR option is there for you, my friend. All right, back now over here. Let's see. Z-Rex wants to look at CL1, good old crude light. Let's see what crude light's doing, man. CL1. There we go. Crude light oil futures. There we go. All right, is this the one I'm looking for? Yes, indeed. Not looking too hot, man. New York mercantile. Oh, but that's right. That's right. So we got the big breakout way over here. We're just coming back to test supports. I do believe that you probably will find yourself testing these areas again. 66 and 20 cents, very likely. Perhaps even a little bit above there. Yeah, 66.5, we'll call it. If you fail to hold there, then yes, your next big support is right around here, 64.33. And below there, you got this guy right here at about 62 bucks even. But same thing, you know, you really don't want to give up this $62 area right here. If you do, technically, yes, you can come back to this $55 region, but it'd be a lot more questionable at that point in time. You have to start thinking a little bit more bearish. By the same token, you don't really have a breakout to be played until you get back above 74 and a third. As that would lead to that would be a higher degree of pattern though, right? Because perhaps we're working on some sort of a bull flag over a long period of time like this. It's just we're right in the middle of it, so it's like, well, Jesus Christ, it's a hard one to play, right? So yeah, back onto the cones over here, selling down a little bit. Again, this is why you don't want to play patterns before they get put in, and why, you know, while you might have been able to make the case for a bull flag, it's just you don't want to play a bull flag until you get confirmation on it. Same thing, you know, you don't want to play a head and shoulders until you get confirmation on that, and confirmation on that would be, you know, this area, you know, you see 15 minutes being closed below 70-20-ish area on MEX. All right, back to the comments. Let's see where we at. Greg Smith says, yeah, that is an interesting comment. Why do you put trading in quotes? What are the odds that someone is or could be forcing a reversal of the bear market? Would all you need to do is a change in price action? Is there other things that need to be in place to do this? Well, typically speaking, can you force it? Well, no. Because you still have to deal with the same emotions, right? Market cycles are all about emotional behavior. It's not even about the underlying asset, really. That's why I always say, hey, man, the fundamentals of Bitcoin have never been better. The chart of Bitcoin, it looks like shit, but the fundamentals have never been better. And that's because trading is an emotional thing. It's an emotional, whole emotional, you know, roller coaster, essentially. So yes, a person can paint the charts, can put in floors and stuff like that, but you're going to have to get the retailers and masses on the same page at some point in time. So you still need to go through the same emotional, you know, flow. So I'd say unlikely. I haven't seen that happen before. It's probably a better way of saying it. Greg Smith says, I guess because I'm only small fish, like 50 to 100 USD. Well, fair enough, man. Hey, there's no dishonor in that. We all start somewhere. A Human from Earth says, sup, people? Hey, hello, Human from Earth. I'm also from Earth. Nice to meet you. Greg Smith says, not full time, balls deep. Yeah, indeed, man. Easy education, says Lando. What's up, Lando? What the fuck's up, man? How you doing? Tom BJ said, thanks, man. Hey, my pleasure, man. Mr. DJ Danio says, is TA valid for low caps? Okay, so this is a very good question, man. I would say on the bigger pivots for them, yes, it's still relevant. But if you're trying to look at like the lower time frames, it's very, very finicky. And the lack of just interest and actual trading, and also lack of historical relevancy, makes it very, very difficult. And I don't trust it as much. So I always like to say that, especially for like the super new ones. Anything that's been trading for less than a couple of years, I really don't even want to do technical analysis on it, to be honest with you. Gino Dahl says, Shane's Geico listing Banca, a new type of community investment. Banca is a new wow, I think you forgot a few buzzwords over there, man. Jacob Adamman, what the fuck's up, man? Knowledge, yeah, here in my garage. How's everyone doing? How you doing, Human from Earth? Adrian says, internet ate my other comment. Sorry about that, man. Pretty good for a human, you. Nice. Jacob Lynn says, CN, we take a look at, oh yeah, we can, oh, CN can. Yeah, sure, man. Euro versus the USD, sure, man. Let's see, is it time to go on vacation or not? Euro versus USD on ICE over here. All right, let's go check it out. Versus the dollar. Okay, so it looks to me like you're putting in the head and shoulders on the euro versus the dollar. So that would imply a stronger dollar incoming, most likely. How do you know that this idea would be wrong? Well, if you get above this $1.20 region over here, then yes, it would be invalidated. But for right here, right now, it actually give that idea the nod. Overall, this looks like a... You can paint this both ways, right? You can paint this both ways, but I would give it the more weaker interpretation of this. You do have this support right around here. Whoops, let's adjust this down. You do have this support right around here, so this is the range right here, right now, $1.15 and $1.20, or sorry, it's $1.75 and a half. Sorry, $1.17.5. Jesus Christ, Krown. And if you do close a daily dilly above this area right here, there ain't much stopping you from $1.20. If you do close above 120, then there ain't much stopping you from prior highs, and you probably do make new highs after that. By the same token, and what I think is probably more likely to happen is, if you do take out $1.15, there's very little holding you up from this area right here to $1.14. Below there, it gets a lot worse. You might bounce around these regions down here, but it just does not look good overall. The higher time frames are a lot more bearish, in my opinion. We're in an overall rising channel over a very long period of time, and the bottom of that channel is right around here at around a $1.08. So hey, maybe you might see this. This is distribution right here as well. This is just a fucking distribution. So yeah. Overall, I'd say probably more. I'd be leaning towards the bearish interpretation of that, but hey, that's what I'd be looking for as my triggers. All right, let's see. Greg Smith, I would say don't waste brain energy on thinking about market manipulators. If anything, they allow you to trade. Not important. Focus on your discipline. There you go. Yes, and Z-Rex is the perfect guy to have in here, man, because he is a trader himself. And again, there's no sense in focusing on something that you can't control, right? And even if you can't control it, it's better to take responsibility anyways, because if you take responsibility for it, it's going to put you in the mindset to actually make changes. So whether it's your actual fault or not, it's the more empowering mindset to have, because you can actually put yourself in a position to become better for it. There you go. All right. Sigh, says Lando. Z-Rex says, human from Earth. What's up, man? Hey, how you doing, man? What the fuck am I doing wrong, says human from Earth. Hey, man, nothing. You're just being a human. That's all. I'm a human, too. Jake Manman says, sup, dude. Here most of the time, by the way. Huge respect. Hey, man. Well, it's just, I guess I've just missed seeing your name, my friend. And it's good to know that you're still here, my friend. Even if it's in the background, all good, my friend. All good. And I'm just glad to see you, man. Glad to know you. Z-Rex says, LOL, that's great. Time to go on vacation. Or, indeed, man. Fuck you says, CNBC is competing with CNN on being the worst of all time. Fair enough, man. I really don't watch too much of the traditional news to begin with anyways. All right. Let's see. Where else we got? Jacob Lynn says, vacate to Europe time, fam. Thanks, dude. All right, there you go. Maybe wait like a month or two, but I think it's going in your direction, man. Human Form says, is anyone else in profits during this bear market? Yeah. Yeah, man, this has actually been, I think, as a trader, this is the best time because you can make money faster. So let me just kind of pull out the charts over here and give you perspective on this. This is why traders traditionally love bear markets, because you get these crazy down movements very, very quickly. Whereas over here during the bull market, it's like a slow trudge up. I mean, this is more exaggerated over here, but if we go, the majority of your bull market was basically this, put it on the linear scale. It's basically this very, very slow trudge up until you start getting over here, Now, by the other side of the coin, your bear market is extremely aggressively downwards, which offers up a lot more opportunity. Now, of course, when I put it back on the logarithmic scale, it looks a lot different. So do be aware of that. But yeah. All right, back now over here. Hey, what's up, Leaf D? How you doing, man? How you doing? DD214 says, credit to whoever bought this up in the Discord. Have you looked at the Korean won chart? The volume is insane. All right, let's go check it out. I do have the won over here. Where won? Give me won. Where is ya? There we are. Bitcoin Korean won, and let's put it on the daily. Do we have insane volume? We do actually. Holy moly, man! And you did not. Wow, this is very different than U.S. markets, man. Very different. This is what makes it so difficult, guys, in that U.S. markets are showing the opposite. They're showing heavy volume on this rally over here, but very light volume on this rally over here, whereas the won is showing significant volume on this, suggesting that this is your real rally. So the won's looking a lot more bullish than anything. I would say that. So it's not like there's one-sided way to interpret these charts right now. All right. Cumin from says, is anyone... Wait, nope, just read that. It's trading been stressful. Trading's always stressful, man. I hear you. Jacob Lynn says, fuck yeah, I love the bear market, dude. Yeah, man, me too. Especially Bitcoin can compound Bitcoin hodlings, short bear market, and more capital to play with when Bitcoin rises again after market cycle changes. There you go. All right, Z-Rex wants to look at Facebook, and this is going to be the last one because I have to, eat. Do like some human things. I'm sure that you understand that, human from Earth. But let's go look at Facebook really quick. All right, Facebook over here. I do have this one charted out, I believe. Yeah. So very good reaction off of this guy down here, your 169 support. But again, you just trade up and fill the, you don't even fill the gap over here. You just kind of trade up to your next big resistance and fail after that, sell off immediately. And then now you're being held by your 200 simple and exponential. So again, the range is still pretty damn set, right? The range is still pretty damn set in that as long as you're above 170.5, you can still be a little bit lenient with it. You can't be too bearish on it until you break that area. And by the same token, you can't be bullish on it really until you break this area over here. If you do break 188 and a quarter, then yeah, things look a little bit different. But if we put on the weekly, I'm going to guess that, yeah, the weekly does not look that strong to me. The weekly is printing a shit ton of bearish divergence over here, like a metric shit ton of bearish divergence. You're not even getting into the overbought region over here as you make significantly new higher highs. So again, please do be aware of that. I would definitely interpret this a lot more bearishly, but that doesn't mean we can't pop up and test this area again. So don't be aggressive is my point. By the same token, again, until you actually close a weekly below this level, 171, then you're still being held up. If you do close below there, then there's not much holding up from this area right here, 156, and below there you got this area right here to 131. So yeah, be aware of that. All right, so I'm at the bottom of the comments right now, and I'm hyped on crypto. How about you? Hey, I'm hyped on crypto too, man. What about in profit from just hodling, bro? I don't really hodl, man. I trade. Is that token gonna pay dividends? I have no idea, man. Like I said, I'm burnt out from trading. If I could just hodl, make profit, that would be the best, right? Yeah. Well, yeah. It's just like, if it was that easy, I think everyone would be doing it, right? OG Rastaman says, I wish there was a coin I could get paid Ethereum for hodling it. Well, sounds like Ethereum Connect. All right, so I'm going to start covering up the most important things to be aware of on Bitcoin, and then I'll leave you off till I'll be on my channel in about six to 7 hours or so. So, if you want to come join me there, you can. It's at Krown's Crypto K, by the way. Anyways, okay, so here's what I think is going on over here. You have a major resistance right here at about 71.20. So as long as you're closing like 2-hour dillies below 71.20, I don't want to be taking long trades just yet. If we do break above and confirm above, then yes, I don't see much stopping you from this next resistance at around 73.50-ish area. By the same token, I think it's a little bit more likely that we come back down and test this support at 69.10, 69.20-ish area. I'd imagine probably first pass is going to be a bounce. Do we hodl it or not is a real question. Now, on top of that, I need the big point of this, and probably for the next week to come, is that do we hold above this level or not at 67.50? As long as we're holding above 67.50, the bulls have their kind of rally safe, so to say. The second that you actually start closing higher level dillies below that support at 67.50, this whole thing takes on a much bearish tone. But until that point, I do have a short-term bullish bias, although I think that we probably come down a little bit first before figuring it out before that. So again, that's what I'm looking for there. Again, your next big resistance right here, 7100. If you break above there, 73.50 is your next area. Above there would be 74, 7500-ish area. So yeah, that's going to do it for this morning, guys. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. Again, stay hyped. It's good old nice hyped Wednesday morning, and I hope everyone's having a beautiful Wednesday morning out there wherever you might be in this world. Again, I'll be back on a little bit later on my channel, and I look forward to see you guys there. And again, I wish you the best of the best of the best Wednesdays of all time possible. All right, guys, take care, and I'll see you guys soon.